Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Sponsored by First Medical Equipment, Homestead-Miami Speedway continues the tradition by playing host to yet another Lionheart IndyCar season debut. It's the 7th championship campaign, and 42 drivers have enlisted to take on the challenge. Among them, defending champion Adam Blocker, last season's runner-up Dandy Dan Guerin, Blocker's Adrenaline Motorsports teammate Andrew Havoc-Ketch Kinsella, not to mention real-world IndyCar driver Sage Karam, and 2019 All-Star Race champion Michael Goodman. So without further ado, it's time for the First Medical Equipment 200, and you can see all the simulated IR-18 racing action from green flag to victory donuts live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. Hello everyone, and welcome to this abridged version of the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over these next few minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the First Medical Equipment 200 that will immediately follow as we count down to green. And here to do all of that is yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined way up in the press box to bring you our Words Eye View by Adam Young. Amjad Yaman has director duties, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beer. Now, as mentioned, this season is the 7th, and Homestead has been on the schedule for each of the previous 6. But if you're new to Lionheart, here's Adam to tell you a little bit about the track.
Yeah, Homestead, is a place that is definitely world-renowned now. I mean, it's been around since, I believe it was 1995. It opened as a 1.5-mile oval. It has a 2.21-mile road course on. You might remember it back when it first opened. It was kind of down, low-banked, in the shape of Indy. And I think it's gone through more reconfigurations than what Bristol has gone through over the last 10 years or so, with the latest here coming in about 2003. All right, but with that, I want to mention that the Countdown to Green tonight brought to you by Sim Experience, the makers of the AccuForce Pro V2 Complete, the premier professional racing simulation steering system. The key to the AccuForce Pro's incredible realism is the groundbreaking direct drive motor control system, providing a driving experience that, when combined with today's best racing simulators, is as close as you can get to driving the real thing. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including the Sim Vibe software, 3DOF, Stage Series Motion, and GS5 G4C, visit simexperience.com and use promo code SIMXLion, all one word, SIMXLion, to get 5% off Sim Vibe software.
Thank you, Adam. Hey, and considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR-18 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And now, for better or worse, backed by popular demand, is Professor Lugnut lecturing from his setup corner. But I think the professor, you've stepped out of your office today, right? Professor? Yeah. Professor Lugnut was going to tell us, he was going to tell us about how the sky and the dynamic sky, but apparently Professor I think the professor might have been hitting the bottle, and he missed his cue on that one. So we'll come back to the professor a little bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
There he is.
Oh, that was a big fail. I'm sorry. Hey, somebody forgot to turn the power on here in the lab. At last year's finale at Auto Club, we saw the dramatic day-night transitions, and it made its debut here with the Lionheart IndyCar Series. But this season, the opening round, this whole new weather system, the dynamic sky, that listen, today we'll put away the coat and put away the lab coat and put on the meteorologist coat for just a moment. All right, now this new weather model, the biggest change, of course, is that the clouds and the sun no longer stay in the same place. They move around like it does in real life, of course. Okay, so what happens when the clouds move across the sky in front of the sun? Things cool off a bit. And what happens when things cool off? Tires, well, they cool off and they get more grip, and the track gets grippier, and a little more rubber gets laid down, and everybody looks nice and orderly. And then the sun comes back out, guys. And then what happens? Things get hot. Things get slippery. We lose grip. Tires start to erode a lot quicker. So the result of all this is it shifts from lap to lap because that's what weather does. Conversely, this track cools down, so the tires. Anyway, the winner of the race today, folks, it'll be the one who prepares the best to handle the changes in temperature in the track and how the sun and the clouds move around here today at Homestead-Miami. There you go.
Thank you, Professor. We look forward to hearing you again in a couple of weeks when we come back. Let's go right to the race details. We'll let Adam talk about that one.
Yeah, and a series of details here for today. It's brought to you by it's a new sponsor to come here to Lionheart. Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit www.273.biz. Use promo code LHRS for 25% off the orders. Hey, Season 7, Round 1 of 24. They get 3 drops this season, running the Dallara IR18 in their running custom fixed setups and lots of cash prizes on the way here this season. It's going to be great. We've got more for you once we get going here with the race.
There you go. And now let's go ahead and run down the grid, Adam. We got time to do this 2 at a time. Let's take it. It's going to be on the front row, on the pole. It's going to be Dustin Wardlow. Outside of him will be Brian Beard.
Yeah, Joe Hassert and Dan Guerin will be starting in row 2.
A new name populates the 5th position, Damon Martinez. He's going to be flanked by Chris Stouffer.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Lionheart, you're going to see plenty of new names. Everybody really excited about the talent level here this season. Bob Mikus in 7th. Ken Hacker make up row 4 alongside him.
That's in row 5. Tony Schowen, Brandon Limkeman.
Next up, Samuel Ryman. Hey, our own Samuel Ryman running 11th here in qualifying. He'll start alongside series organizer George Anzaldo.
In the Baker's-Dozen position, it's Brian Yazik, the Moby Dickey's car of Justin Weaver in 14th.
Michael Goodman. Hey, he won the All-Star race. He's going to have to do it from about mid-pack here tonight, starting on the inside of row 8 alongside Joe Flanagan.
These big names back here in 17th and 18th. Have a catch, Andrew Kinsella and Jason Galvin.
Next up there, hey, talk about big names. How about the one-plated car of Adam Blocker starting in 19th here tonight? Alongside him would be Brian Carey.
Real-world IndyCar driver Sage Karam in the blackjack position, flanked by Stefan Larkamp.
Yeah, next up in row 12 would be Brian Greenlee and then Paul Jenkins.
Go down a little bit farther, we get to Tyler Graff and George Sandman in 26th.
Great to see George Sandman running this season. You'll see him in retro, I believe, as well tomorrow night. Jason Robarge starting in row 14. James Britt alongside him.
Scott Bolster and Scotty Johnson make up the next row.
And then after that is, and I think we're going to get close here, so I'm going to run through these here real quick. David Altman, Isaiah Dupree in row 16, Sean Cole, John Hill in 17, Justin Kirby, Joe Branch 18, Chris Lanini, Connor Harrington in row 19, Mark Cohn. Alongside him be Mike Rigney, then Robert Bluen and Bart Workman.
There you go. They come around corner number 4. Let's get this season underway. Pace car brings them around, pulls in. And they are at throttle. You know what to do. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. They're down into the first corner. Clean so far. Uh-oh, I hear some contact.
Already, as the leaders were going 3 wide, trying to see where it is. I see Justin Kirby without a rear engine cover.
Yeah, it looks like it was Kirby involved in this one. Boy, that's not the way we want to start the season.
It looks like, and I had the opportunity to practice for about an hour with these guys earlier, and I can say that I did what Sean Cole did there a few times. She's kind of running too low going into turn 1. You grab that apron just a little bit and you start to lose the back end. Sean almost had it gathered up, but the slowdown just wasn't able to stay out of him. It's just the kind of thing that happens there in lap 1.
No fast repairs here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, so a few drivers are going to have a short night. We come back live. It's nice to get the technical gremlins out of the way here, and They've been plaguing us, and this commentator included, but I think we're good to go here. So as they come around completing lap number 2, out in front, your leader is Dustin Wardlow, the Candyman. Brian Beard in second, Joe Hassard, Dan Guerin, and Chris Stouffer. We do have onboard cameras here today. I think we do, maybe not. Let's go ahead and take a look at these right now. We'll start with Brandon Limpcom, the First Medical Equipment onboard camera, your source for medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area. Another driver with an onboard camera, that's going to be Joe Hassard in the number 11 in the -273. Durable, breathable, lightweight racing gloves. Check them out at -273.biz. All right, well,
and while we got a minute, we can go ahead and talk about the race itself here today too. Maybe the race analysis, get that going. And for today, we're going to be running 133 laps around Homestead. So, running about a little bit under 24 seconds a lap once these guys really get going. Maybe if we're lucky, we get this thing in here in about an hour or so. Max Fieldstead, about 40 laps, and of course, incidents do play a big role here in the Lionheart series because you get docked points for too many incidents. But, Soup, one thing I want to focus on is that Max Fuel stint of 40 laps because you figure you're going to end up having possibly a short one at the end. These guys ran a practice race the other night, and they only had one caution during that entire 133-lap practice race.
Wow.
And that's incredible. So obviously we're circling around under caution here after only lap 3. But if we get going on some really long green flag runs, those pit stops are going to be crucial here. And at Homestead, they're even more crucial because you have a really long lead in and a really long exit to pit road, and you have to nail both to have a good time.
We do have a caution that we're working right now. They're working lap number 4 under yellow. Last season, the season 6 opener, they set a record for the most cars. That was 42. Not sure if they got 42 today. I'm not sure if Bart Workman actually went and took the grid. We have 42 entry names. I think only 41 racing here tonight.
He did take the grid.
Oh, did he?
Take the grid, yep.
Okay. So we tied the record. That's good. All right.
At least I think he did. I'm for you verifying that. Might have been a practice lap.
Lights are off the pace car. And now let's go racing for real. Gather up the chicken steak covering on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. It's Dustin Weaver leaving the Stampede, working lap number 5 here at the Lionheart IndyCar Series at Homestead. Brian Beard behind him, Joe Hassard, Dan Guerin, and Chris Stouffer make up your top 5. And that order's going to change a little bit right now because here comes Big Joe underneath looking to get into second. Cannot get it done because he ran out of tarmac. Dustin Weaver trying to make that car as wide as a Julia Roberts smile. Who's going to get credit with leading this lap? It's going to be Brian Beard. 2 by 2 up front.
Curious to know the interval between those two right there was 0.15 of a second. So that's going to be pretty common out there tonight. Lots of swapping of positions.
They are 2 wide, the first 8 cars. That's where the excitement is right now. This time it is Brian Beard again who gets credit with leading. No, Dustin Wardlow got it that time. Working on the outside. That's Brian Beard in the dark car. 3 wide, perhaps. That's what Dan Guerin is thinking. Dan again. Here we go. It looks like Indianapolis.
It did there for a second. So, got to remember, too, that Homestead once looked like a mini Indianapolis. So maybe they're still trying to get some of that old school feeling out of it.
They start the single file a little bit up front, but barely. Boy, everybody's happy right now with the tires feeling good. A car that's fallen back is that Dodger Blue Machine up there of Damon Martinez. That is car number 3. You see him stuck on the outside, losing a few positions. He races back in 8th. It's 3 wide back there as well. Oh, boys, come on.
That's going to be the story here for tonight, I think. It's going to be a lot like a restricted plate racing and cup racing for a little while. as these guys swap positions. You're in the draft, you don't want to lose the draft and everything else. One thing that I noticed, and I don't know if anybody else had this experience, but I noticed is that once the car starts burning off fuel, it's going to start to raise just a touch. And that's when that aero push really is going to start to play a little bit more role. The car is going to start pushing a lot more as the fuel starts to wear off. And that'll be when I think we see some of these guys separate once they can get on a really long green flag run.
Gonna stay focused up front. It's Dustin Wardlow on the outside, Brian Beard down low. We'll find out how long they can race the high line and the low line. Oh my goodness, that was Joe Hassard in the light blue and white car. Almost got into the back of Wardlow. He gets it checked up. Beard down low, the momentum up on top. Chris Stouffer wants that one. Yeah, and Hacker trying to go low. Beard jumped up and put a stop to Stouffer's run. Oh, this is all fun and good, but somebody's going to get hurt here in a minute.
That car that you saw in the apron a little while ago was Sean Cole. He did try to return to the track a little while ago. He's coming back down pit road.
Looks like we have 39 drivers still out there racing. Mark Cohn brings it in as well. Let's call it 38. We look at that big move we saw there from Tony Shawan in the 31. Wardlow, Hassard, Ken Hacker, and Brian Beard, your top four. The Candyman on that inside line, trying to make Hassard go around the top side.
Looking back here in the back part of the field, well, about mid-pack actually, Adam Blocker in that one-plated car, man, he has been just in the thick of it ever since the green flag flew, and he's having a real tough time being able to gain any kind of positions at this point, but doing his best, really trying to get that high line to work. I've noticed that out of Adam Blocker here so far this afternoon.
Boy, they continue to race side by side as we look at Sage Karam in 15th, actually racing in 16th. Well, it depends when you look at him, what position he's in. Boy, that continues that racing going on right in front of him. That's Goodman down low. Karam gets the run now. He moves up into 15th. Let's jump ahead a few spots to a hard charger, up into 11th. Car number 53 and looking for more. That's Joe Flanagan. Started in 16th. He's up 5 spots and working on the back of Brian Yazek. And here he goes. Takes it down low. Boy, makes it stick. Gets right on the back. Got to be careful of the wash from Bobby Mikas. Look what they've done to Mikas' car. For years and years he's been Bob Mikas. Now he's Bobby.
I like it.
I like it too. The Meat Man.
It's like Bobby's world.
Yeah. Well, we got that yellow out of the way. Now we got ourselves a nice, good green flag run. Let's check back in on the 2 leaders. There they are. Joe Hassard, Dustin Wardlow, they're beginning to check out a bit as they got an 0.8 of a second lead on back to 3rd position, which currently is Ken Hacker.
Swapping the lead back and forth, you know, and starting to separate each other, you know, out a little bit. And I really, when I was in practice earlier, like I felt like that's when I was fastest, is when I was just in a 2-car tandem and really able to, you know, sit there and leapfrog each other. I was doing that with Brian Beard quite a bit. Probably running some of my fastest lap times then. And I didn't really have to worry so much about the aero push. So I think that's one reason why you see Joe Hassard and Dustin Wardlow start to separate themselves out a little bit here.
Those front 2 guys doing the Miami 2-step there as they continue to, one passes on the front straight, one passes on the back straight.
Hearing a report that maybe Tony Schuin maybe brushed the wall a little while ago. Might want to keep an eye on him over the next few laps.
Okay, we're fortunate to have ourselves a pit reporter today. It's Chris Phoebe. Chris, you talking about the 44 making a move, huh?
Yeah, Bill, after the first pit stop, looked like he was making his way up through the field. Looks like that run may have stalled out a little bit, but he's still hanging in there. Running back towards back in the low 30s right now, but still pretty clicking off some consistent laps and trying to work his way up through the running.
Thank you for that. Plenty of time as we got a long race ahead of us here. Keep an eye there on the driver in third now. Adam Ken Hacker is doing a good job. He's broken away from Guerin and Stouffer, kind of in the middle. What do you got?
Yeah, I was getting ready to notice that too. And if he's able to suck up to the back end of Joe Hastert and Dustin Wardlow, though, he might actually ultimately slow both of them down, which will allow Brian Beard and Dan Guerin to get back into this. We'll have to watch that over the next few laps. But right now, I'm just amazed by the big names that we have that are kind of mired mid-pack right now. And they're going to need a lot of help here over the next little bit to try to get going. Oh, there we go. There's 3 wide for fourth position there. Who is that snuck in? There's Chris Stouffer that snuck in there, going from 6th up to 4th. 1 corner.
Take another look at that one. Getting a few positions in 1 corner. Adam, he's hot. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, just a good dive here. I think probably a little bit before this here, though. But just had a good run, good position, and was able to take the car, dive it in there, and it's still at the point in the field run where the car's really sticking well to the bottom. He used it.
And now we come back live, and we got the battle for the lead. And sure enough, we talked about it. Look how Joe Hastert is now up there with Hacker and Wardlow, so it's a 3-car battle. Oh, Beard. We have a pit stop here for Brian Beard. Now, this is a bit early.
It is. I'm going to go back and look here for a second. Make sure nothing happened to him, because that is very early.
And while we look at him coming in.
Yeah, I mean, he came in hot, too. I'm wondering if maybe he's thinking it might go green a lot here tonight, and maybe starting to play it backwards a little bit. I mean, that very well could be a strategy call we see made here tonight.
Okay, I'm going to touch 2 drivers that are on the move. I want to go to 8th position again. We talked about him before, the 53 of Joe Flanagan. He is coming. Next on his hit list is Bob Mikas. Now, that's who he was behind last time we checked in on him, but he is making up some spots. The other one that is really coming is back in 11th, car number 2. You saw him almost win the All-Star race. I'm talking about Sage Karam. And as I talk about that, there goes our champion, our defending champion around him, Adam Blocker. But these guys are coming forward. Adam, you talked about the big names that were mired in the back. They must have heard you, because now they're starting to come.
Yeah, they're trying to here. And Adam Blocker and Sage Karam work really well together to get around some of that traffic. They're starting to do that leapfrog motion, everything else. So they're really coming, especially Adam Blocker right now, that Adrenaline Motorsports machine, of course, Sage Karam and the BRS machine.
We are getting close to green flag stops here pretty soon. It won't be long. We're working lap number 30. We figured they could go about 40, but we had several under yellow flag. So let's say around lap 42 they'll be coming in. That would be my guess.
And remember, here at Homestead, you have to use the entry road that starts on the back end of the backstretch, and you have to follow the access road that goes all the way around through turn 1 and 2 as well. So if you make a trip down pit road, you are spending, I'd say about 3/4 of the lap off the racing line.
Which is really why you cannot afford to come in early. You might want to think about doing this like a road course, count back, but you really can't afford to get caught out by a yellow flag, because you're losing 1, maybe 2 laps, huh?
Well, I think we can look at see where Brian Beard ended up after all that, just to kind of see where he came out. And it looks like he's Solly was only able to lose about 3/4 of a lap, but he also had a really good pit entry and pit exit there. I mean, it was actually, no, he went down a lap. So yeah, you're going down about a lap and a half. Excuse me. Yeah.
Now, we have drivers that have made a pit stop, but they've made those early on, so they'll be looking at their second ones. Drivers like Robert Bluen, Mike Rigney, Chris Lanini, Connor Harrington, they all stopped after that early incident. The driver who is legitimately leading all the cars who have pitted is Brian Beard, back in 38th.
Just looking here is one thing I was wanting to look up just to make sure that there were no adjustments to the bonus points this year in the Lionheart Retro Series. Who's riding on board now, Joe Hasser with that www.minus273.biz car. And because I wanted to make sure that some of those guys that pitted during that caution, if they stayed out, maybe could lead a lap, and indeed they did not adjust that bonus point for leading a lap out there. So that could definitely pay dividends out there as the season goes along. This is a long season for Lionheart in both the IndyCar here tonight, Retro tomorrow night, and these guys, every point matters to these guys. It's very competitive, and the talent pool this year, man, you're going to want every little advantage you can get.
Back to back here on GSRC, Wednesday and Thursday, Lionheart, the IndyCar and the Retro. Of course, Brian Yazik, who's out there racing, is going to be joining me in the booth tomorrow night. Meanwhile, the man sitting next to me right now, you're going to be racing in that one, aren't you?
Yeah, me and Yazik just get to switch places. You know, you're moving from the booth last year in the Retro Series, going down to actually race with those guys. I was real excited about the opportunity, and we'll see what we got. I got a Taft Baldwin coming over. If you watch the Majors races with us, my Ride Shotgun teammate over there, and Soup, you'll like this one, who I'm going to have racing on Ride Shotgun for Lionheart Retro, the one and only Lionel Little Train Callisto.
Oh no!
Yeah.
All right, pit stops going on. Hey, can we quickly go to 10th position? This is Sage Karam. He's in a 3-wide battle, and he gets caught. Karam is in the grass. He saves it. You see him right there. He brings it back out. Holy moly.
No. Did that just happen? Is this real life?
Oh, my goodness. And while he was down there, I said, all right, I'm in pit lane. I'll just make my pit stop. Look at this. On the grass.
You know, iRacing announced earlier this week, officially, I think it's something that's kind of been a loosely held secret for a while, but the off-road trucks come into iRacing, and I think Sage was just trying to get a little practice there beforehand, turning his Delara into an off-road vehicle. Man, I can't believe that. Great save.
Got the car pointing in the right direction using just delicate adjustments. Nice job. He comes in to make a stop. That actually worked out okay, because a lot of drivers are coming in here on lap 40, making their stop. In fact, here comes our leader. Chris, getting a little busy down there.
It sure is, and a little bit of a hairy moment for the 55 of Brian Yazik as he was making his way down the back straightaway, kind of something similar to what happened to Sage Karam. He lost control, almost went down into the grass, and figured while he was down there, he either was having some trouble getting it woed up or was losing control. But either way, he dove onto pit road and was able to make his stop, and he's rejoined the field.
Okay, I believe all the stops here are done. We got Stouffer and Galvin in there right now. I haven't heard a lot from George Sandman. That's a driver we expected to be up running up front.
Yeah, I found what happened to Yazik. We got to give credit where credit is due there. It was a heck of a save. I don't think we can go back to it, but man, you're right though, Chris. I mean, he was able to get it wound up just in time. Figured he'd make his pit stop at the same time. So good job catching that.
Chris Lanini inherited the lead for a little while, but now he comes in. And it looks like when this thing is all sorted out, it's going to be Dan Guerin. Here's Blocker. And Kinsella.
Yeah, we want to mention about Andrew Kinsella here, following up right behind Adam Blocker. He's going for the third straight season opening win here at Homestead here today. So he's definitely wanting a good run. I think that'd be some kind of record in the Lionheart series. So he'd love to have that this afternoon.
Brian Carey coming in, pitting from second position. Samuel Ryman had worked his way up to third. both late stoppers. Martinez looking for his home. Justin Weaver in pit lane now. Robert Bluin coming in. Now I think we're done. Looks like it's going to be Joe Hassert. When it's all said and done, if I'm reading this right, 2 seconds on Dan Garrett.
Big lead for Joe Hassert. Ooh, got a caution. See a car down there in the grass?
Car number 88. Nicely timed by Altman. Just let the pit window finish. Oh my goodness, Paul Jenkins, not sure if he knew that Altman was there. They get together, that's Jenkins on top. A little bit of a bump down into the grass, and unlike the other two drivers, he was not able to save that one.
Yeah, that's that was not soft contact. I mean, he was crabbing all the way going down to pit road. You know, that's a shame. David Altman, he was looking forward to this season, you know, season opening race in particular, and just kind of bad luck right there. But, you know, great that he was able to at least get out here. He just completed a move. High-speed internet was going to be an issue, maybe if he was going to be able to have it or not. And thankfully, he was able to get something going, so he was able to race here tonight, but not ending the way he wanted it to.
Chris, you got to lose news on Damon Martinez?
Yeah, guys, monitoring the race control feed, the three of Damon Martinez getting a pit penalty for going through too many stalls before arriving at his own.
Well, he didn't do it intentionally. He was lost. That's a tough break.
I can definitely relate to that this evening.
Well, David Martinez is one of the newcomers here to the series, just trying to get out there, make a name for himself, and just a little bit of a rookie mistake there, but I'm sure that he'll know better for next time, and hopefully that'll be his only penalty of the season. But, man, Joe Hassert, great job getting on and off pit road, only to see that huge lead evaporate.
You know, there's a lot of great sponsors that make this Lionheart IndyCar series possible. And I'll tell you one of them that is great, and that is Butt Kicker. Now, Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, that's bad. Butt Kicker products move actual mass, and I'm not talking like St. Matthew's Sunday morning at 10:30. I'm talking about mass, like you know, atoms squished together that have gravity. It produces those, and it moves those, and it gives you a haptic immersion that is both powerful and accurate. Feel the low end without making the room loud. Now your neighbor's going to like that because you can turn down on the subwoofer and still feel the bass you want. Experience powerful bass even while using headphones or a gaming headset. For sim racers, Butt Kicker products add the missing driver to car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. I got a promotion code for you. Lion25. Take a guess what percentage you get off, Adam, for Lion 25.
25%?
That is right, sir. That is right.
What do I win?
you win.
I win a new Butt Kicker, right?
You can come back next time we need to fill in for Richie. There you have it. Check him out at, where do you want to go? TheButtKicker.com. I've been told not to ad-lib the sponsor plugs, but I can't help it. It's against my religion. Okay, we got that one out of the way. I still have a job. And our leader is Joe Hassert. See the guy back there in second, Dan Garrett? He's the driver who has led the most laps here at Homestead. A whopping 125. Whoa. Yeah. Yet to add to that today, though.
You know, even though Brian Beard came down right at the beginning, like, he came down super early compared to everybody else, still, you know, was able to get back up to third position with that caution, and doesn't seem like he lost anything at all. I mean, he's right back up there in the lead pack once this thing gets going back to green.
Let's talk about the Bakersfield boy, racing in 9th position, car number 42, Jason Galvin. Started in 18th, has been able to cut that in half, up into 9th right now, right behind that other hard charger of Joe Flanagan in 8th. Now go through here. Karam was making a move. Where is Sage? Where have you gone? Oh, Sage came in and took another pit stop. He topped off, so he's back in 29th. Sneaky.
Wondering if he's getting the feeling that maybe things might be picking up a little bit here in the next few.
All right. Well, we had a nice little green flag run. It was nice that the incident happened right after the pit cycle had finished, so nobody really got caught out on that one. The beautiful Medina Mendez actually puts the car into the pit wall, bringing it down in pit lanes. Careful, Medina. Joe Hassard. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, Idaho, leading them down into the first corner, doing lap number 50. Dandy Dan Guerin, we talked about him being the all-time lap leader here at Homestead. He must have heard me because he wants to add one more. Look at that lead of 126 career laps. He makes the pass on Hassard right now. Coming out of 4, I think he's safe to get credit for leading this one. You betcha. Dan Guerin, the new leader, for now, as Hassard goes underneath.
And look up there, there's Chris Stouffer trying to make his presence known in the top 3 after getting around Brian Beard there that last lap. And here comes Dan Guerin once again. He's going to add another one.
There's 1, 2, 3, and there goes the light blue car making another move. Joe Hassard. Boy, Joe is feeling it here. Look at these names up here. These, other than Guerin, these really aren't the names that we're used to seeing racing up here. The Hassard, Hacker, Stouffer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but then you look right behind him, and then you got your Yazik. Brian Beard's falling back a little bit. Then you got the Candyman Dustin Fordlow. Jason Galvin's right there. Tony Schoen. That's your top 10 right now, as these guys are... That's a hornet's nest back there.
Yeah, really, it's just unusual for me to call a race so long and not had to mention much about Adam Blocker, who laces in 11th. Something tells me when it's time to go racing, he'll be there. Yeah, this is where the action is back here, a little farther back than we're looking at. I hate to harp on the point, but let's go back and look at Karam real quick. He's in 27th. Pretty peaceful right now. James Brand in front of him. Scott Bolster, he'll be getting those guys quick. Isaiah Dupree. Brandon Limpkeman. Keep an eye on him. Boy, Adam, he was really impressive in the All-Star race. Until he put it in the wall.
Yeah, I heard about that. Not exactly what he wanted to do for sure. I'm trying to see, somebody was smoking a little while ago up here.
Tip of the hat to Sage, though. We hear that he secured a deal, at least for Indy, in the real world, so good for him. Look forward to that. Looking up front of this battle. Right now, it's Hacker ahead of Guerin. I hate to be too cavalier about this. Stouffer and Hassard now. Who's coming? Who wants to mix it up with these guys? Hey, up into 8th, Adam Blocker. You'll see him just a little bit behind. There he is, that blue car on the inside there. Now he's tucked back up on the high line. Might take a while for the defending champion to get to the front, but he's coming.
Slowly but surely. Nothing wrong with that, though. Yeah. I mean, doing it just one pass at a time and slowly climbing his way there.
Works underneath Dustin Wardlow. Of course, there is a team championship in this series. We'll talk more about that as the season goes on and we get to learn the drivers a little more and see where they've all slotted in after a silly season of swapping around spots. Scanning through here, who deserves a little love? Hey, let's go back to the driver in 15th, up 7 spots. It was in a battle last season for the rookie championship, Stefan Larkamp. Started in 22nd.
Soup, one guy I'm looking at, though, we talked to him about starting that restart in 3rd, and after that restart, he's already dropped down to 18th position. And in fact, he's saying, I've had enough. I'm coming down pit road. Brian Beard back on pit road. So that car was not feeling good to him after that restart.
Well, it was Beard who took the early stop before, so...
Correct. So
yeah.
I'm wondering maybe if it had something to do with just maybe that extra couple laps of tire wear. I mean, it was way before everybody else, too. So, I mean, it very well could be just the way things are running for him here tonight.
Dan Guerin moves to the lead up front. Ken Hacker. Chris Stouffer. Last race, last season, there was a record 26 lead changes. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure how many we're actually going to get here because there were 2 lead changes this lap, but you have the same leader because Guerin made the pass on the back straight, and then Hacker came back and got him, so you know what I mean?
It's one of those ones I wish iRacing would be able to keep track of the unofficial lead changes. Because, man, this is the kind of race where you're right. I mean, the numbers would be sky high. But they would have been sky high in California, too, so.
Indeed. Talking sky high, I'd like to thank Professor Lucknut for coming in and giving us that talk about the dynamic sky. That was good to know. Look at that dynamic sky pushing right down on this Miami racetrack right now. Beautiful clouds. That one looks like a bunny.
Well, Soup just went there first time, but he went there.
You don't realize that the intricacies that iRacing goes to. Those clouds are just not randomly shaped.
But you do bring up an interesting point, Soup, because right now you do have, it seems like half the racetrack right now under, with the cloud overhead. So one half's darker than the other, and those that track will cool off just a touch, and you will see an improved grip in that corner. So it's pretty impressive, the modeling that's going on there now. Hey, and how about Chris, our pit road reporter, making sure that we're not forgetting halfway this time?
Oh, I wish we have so many things to celebrate here on the Lionheart series. We don't have a halfway mark, halfway award.
Yeah, despite a few cautions, though, I mean, this race is clicking along tonight. And
absolutely.
If you're those guys in the back that we've been talking about, you've got to start feeling the pressure of the clock and the laps clicking down very quickly here.
All right, well, let's talk about one guy that we mentioned. Racing now in the 5th position in that #1 plated car, as we like to put it, our defending champion, Adam Blocker. And by the time I said he was in 5th, well, he's moved up to 4th. He tries to get the pass on the inside.
Oh, we got a wreck. Jason Galvin, he's rumbling, tumbling, fumbling down the back straightaway.
Oh, he got collected into Joe Flanagan. It starts with Flanagan, who had some ghost contact with the Candyman Dustin Weaver.
There was just nowhere for Jason Galvin to go, and you know, sometimes in those Dallara IR18s, when they get rolling, they really do. And unfortunately for him, that's going to be the end of Jason's day.
There you can see it. Weaver, Flanagan, and Galvin all involved in that one. Okay, so you can go 40 laps on a stint. Double that is 80. Add 80 to 69, which is the lap we're on right now, and that gets you well on the way to doing this on one more stop. We can get to 1:33. So coming now and one stop after this.
You know, Soup. I'm glad you worked on your math skills there.
I showed my work. That's yeah.
Pit road, busy place.
All right, Chris, here they come.
Well, guys, you got to believe this late into the race, just past the halfway point, as we mentioned earlier, these guys are all going to be thinking long term. So you got guys that are all going to be throwing tires and fuel at it and trying to see how far they can make it and where the cautions may fall as we march towards the conclusion of this 133 lap, 200-mile trip around the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Put the cameras on one spot behind the pace car. Car number 38. Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee. Stay out there, Brian. I know he's coming in. He just does this to get a little love here on GSRC.
I think he has to. There, Soup. It looks like he's missing a little something.
Oh.
Let's see what happened to him here. Did he catch a piece of that accident by chance?
Yeah, missing his right front wing.
Oh, it looked like something happened with Flanagan, and he ended up not being able to miss him when Flanagan was trying to get caught up to the field. So there, yeah, so that hurt him. Looking at Paul Jenkins also with a little bit of damage. Oh, Paul Jenkins got a little bit of that accident as well. So a few more cars involved than what we thought, including Mike Rigney. So I think that ended up being about a 6-car accident there, Soup.
The 3 that we saw, then those 3 that got the collateral damage. That's all right. They weren't racing up front. They come and get those repairs done. Hopefully the car will be as good as new.
Hey, while we're under caution, one guy I want to give a shout out to here, Sean Cole. He was involved in our very first caution out there here for today, and you know
he's out of the race, isn't he?
He is. He's 3 laps down. There's no way he's going to be able to be back in contention, but it goes to show that even the rookies in the series, of course, it's hard to say anything about Sean Cole with the word rookie next to it because we all know who Sean Cole is, but it goes to show that how important every little position, every little point is going to be here for this season, that he knows as a rookie that he needs to stay out there and complete every lap he possibly can.
Give a little screen time to Sean Cole. Check him out at The Sim Pit. I'm going to keep giving him some love until he mentions my name on his YouTube channel. That's Soup, S-O-U-P, Sean. Oh, let's go ahead and talk to Joe Flanagan. Let's bring him down in and talk to him if we can. Joe Flanagan, you were having a great drive, and then you got caught up in stuff that wasn't really of your doing.
No, I don't think it was really of anybody's doing. He tried to stay low, and I tried to stay high, and I don't know, something got in between us and wrecked us.
Boy, you were really making it work, though. You had come through the field. The car felt, you looked like you were comfortable in it.
Yeah, I was doing better than I expected, to be honest. I moved up, started 16th. I was running in the top 10 all race and up around 8th or so. And having a good night, and I thought it was going to end that way, but you never know.
You going to be able to make a full-time assault on this campaign this season?
That's definitely the plan, but this is not a good way to start off the season. I'm a little disappointed. We got a long way to go, and I'll make it back up.
Your nickname is Canigan, so come back out and let's see what you can do next time. Thanks for coming in and talk to us, Joe.
Yep,
all right.
Thank you.
Pace car is ready to pull in. Let's see if Medina Mendes can do a better job of getting it down. No, she hits that thing every time. Dan Guerin, your leader. He was first into pit lane. He was first out of pit lane. Working lap number 73. Ken Hacker, Brian Yazic, Joe Hazard, Chris Stouffer, your top 5. We've been watching Adam Blocker, the defending champion. He is up 14 spots into 5th, well within striking distance. Make that 6th position.
Chris, you got something on Paul Jenkins?
Yes, I do. Looks like the 35 of Paul Jenkins being given a drive-through penalty for avoidable contact. So 35 going to have to make the trip down pit road, and of course has to use the access road on and off. So going to be a very costly penalty for the 35 car.
Holy smokes, look at the pinata full of bees we're looking at there. It all starts with Brian Yazik. Going underneath him, that's Guerin for the lead. That's Hacker and Stouffer behind. Working on the top side, that's Joe Hazard. Going down low in the Dodger blue color car is Adam Blocker. He moves up into fifth, and he's got head of steam ahead of him. He's going to get underneath Yazik too. Oh my goodness. I got a bad feeling about this. Settle down, boys, as they are still too wide. Going underneath is Guerin. Oh my, that is Chris Stouffer putting the car.
And Adam Blocker trying to follow his Adrenaline Motorsports teammate right through there.
Here comes Blocker. You put your right front in, you put your right front out. You do the hokey pokey and you get underneath for the lead. Here comes Adam Blocker. Nobody got turned around in that dance.
It is hard to believe he started 19th on the field here today.
Oh, but they are coming north and south on Blocker. Hacker up high.
Oh, turn around right in front of the field. Big accident down the front straightaway.
Octopus putting on his socks. Cars going everywhere. He can't tell what's going on.
Oh, Ken Hacker is in that. Oh, it just seemed like a little bit of netcode there too with Tony Schuin. Tony Schuin got turned in front of everybody. Oh, if we get a chance here in a minute, Amjad, our director, if he could get us an onboard riding with George Inzaldo on that. Joe Hassert lost part of his front wing. Sage Karam was involved. Sage Karam with hard contact. He might be done. All right, right on board here with George Zaldo. Soup, hang on to your pants. Or you might need tan pants today.
Whoa! Doc George. Let's take one more look if we can through Tyler Graff's point of view, if we're able to do that. Car number 26. Tyler maybe
Ulster's involved.
Tyler maybe not quite so clean, but he does manage to get through. This will be fun. Where are you gonna go? They're all in front of you. Holy moly. Graff did lose his right front wing. Well, heck, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna throw it to Chris. Hey, Chris, pit party.
I'm looking here, and Dustin Wardlow with damage. I mean, this is one of those ones it might be easier to say who didn't get damage.
Blocker, Stouffer, Guerin, they were out in front of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Well, when you're racing so close and the incident is so far up in the field, see, Joe Flanagan came in for that interview. Thought if he would have been out there, he would have been caught up in that one anyway. So. What we'll do right now on the Global Sim Racing, we'll take a short break, but don't go far. We'll come back to bring you the action before we go green. Batman Villain Cam of Adam Blocker, your race leader. Thank you very much. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series season opener for Season 7 from Miami Homestead Speedway. We're currently working lap number 82. We expect to go green right now. See
in a vastly different front half of the field now.
All right, we're going green. Adam Blocker, your defending champion. He started in 19th position. Took him 83 laps to get to the lead, but that's where he is right now, ahead of Christopher Dandy Dan Guerin, your all-time lap leader here at Homestead, racing in third. Michael Goodman and Justin Weaver. You know, a driver I want to talk about is racing back there in 8th position. And that's Andrew Havakech Kinsella. Adam? Andrew Kinsella trying to do something special tonight.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it earlier, but he is trying to go for the 3rd straight Lionheart IndyCar Series season opening win. So he won it in 2017 and 2018, and he's trying to add 2019 to the list.
Oh, he's in the hunt. Down low, working there. He's got the lap car of Paul Jenkins up in front of him. And there's Samuel Ryman in that orange and yellow special. Martinizing. Oh, nowhere to put this car. Havakech shakes it up high, but Weaver is up there.
That old Samuel Ryman up there here right now, running in 6.
Yep. Now, we talked about Kinsella. Kinsella took a stop. He's on 12-lap fresher tires. See how that plays out. He's left Ryman behind. He's gone underneath Weaver, and now Kinsella is up to 5th. I think he's coming. Boy, he almost gets into Stouffer.
If I'm right, I think this will be Michael Goodman's first lap led here today.
Right off the board, up the back of Michael Goodman. Adam Blocker in his familiar blue and black machine. Well, I'm telling you though, Kinsella is coming. He's making the low line work with those fresher tires. He's trying to get underneath Guerin right now. And Zaldo George was down on the apron doing a little kitchen work. I'm telling you, watch out for the number 41. He is coming. He's now up to 3rd. And he's got visions of grandeur. Going around the top side, trying to make it 3 wide is Dandy Dan Guerin on the outside of Blocker. It is 3 wide now. Blocker in the steer wheel position. The clown is Kinsella. The joker is Guerin. They get that sorted out.
And Andrew Kinsella had to get out of the gas, and that really backed him up. He's going to lose a few spots there going down the front straightaway. Adam Blocker now trying to make that move going into turn 1. Michael Goodman right now is really hugging that white line. I mean, if somebody's going to go around him right now, it's going to have to be on the outside, but that's really going to start heating up those tires. He's going to be careful about the car starting to push here before too long or catching the apron by accident. There's a little spot in turns 1 and 2 you got to be careful with. It's actually above the white line that if you touch it just right, that back end's going to want to step out on you. He's got to be careful with that.
3 wide across the start-finish line for lap number, what would that be, 92. Guerin is trying to make the top side work. Adam talked about it. Michael Goodman covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet.
Yeah, you know who has a really good view of this? Brandon Limpkeman. We got an onboard camera with him. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. At First Medical onboard camera, your source for medical supplies and equipment in Burlington, Iowa.
Hopefully he won't need any right now, so he can keep that car going straight.
That's the wonderful thing about about virtual race cars, is that at the end of the day, even if you got wrecked, you're okay.
Oh, let's go up front. I turned my butt kicker product all the way up to max, though, so I think I'm still safe.
Are you getting some of the heptic immersion right now?
Well, if I do get injured, I can always go to First Medical.
That's true.
By the way, butt kickers are perfectly safe. Don't worry about them. Oh my goodness, not safe those. What's going on in 4th position? Guerin in a battle with George Anzaldo. Hey, George! George trying to keep that car going in a nice straight line. Puts it down on that white line.
No one is separating themselves yet here, Soup. I mean, this is just... It's a pack going all the way back to 20th place right now, even further back than that.
Yeah, my spidey senses are tingling here. They are racing really, really close. It's 3 wide again. The problem for Guerin on the top line, if anything goes wrong, they're sliding up your way, I think. At least for the leader who's hugging the bottom, if things go south, you might be able to avoid it down low.
3 wide for that race lead right now. Adam Blocker is the meat in the middle of that sandwich. Somebody looks like on the apron. Are they coming down pit road? Find out who that is. Tyler Graff. Tyler Graff is coming in from 14th position, coming down pit road.
3 wide on the first row, 3 wide on the second row as they go across the finish line. Working lap 98.
I didn't realize we were starting the Indy 500 on lap 98 at Homestead.
Oh, you can only dance the tango in a china shop so long before you break some porcelain. This is just some dangerous stuff going on right now. They are so close together. Usually we like to take you back in the pack to show you the action that's going on there. A lot of times the action back mid-pack is more exciting. Not right now. Up front is where the action is.
Dad, I don't know if it was planned or not, but to add insult to injury, it looks like Tyler Graff maybe had a little bit of trouble on pit road. Chris, what did you see with him?
Well, the 26 of Tyler Graff pulled into his pit stall, went a little bit too deep, had to back up before he could start his stop. So on those green flag pit stops where every second matters, he gave up a couple there, and this could come back to bite him in the end.
That is not Graffsonian. He's noted for being very, very clean, never making a mistake. Unusual to see that happen to him. 2 by 2 by 2 up front, and trying to mix up the formation is Justin Weaver and George Anzaldo back in 7th.
I'll tell you, one of the guys that was running up front before that accident, Dustin Wardlow, got into the wall about 4 laps ago. He's rebent that front wing, and that car looks like it's pushing now. He really wants a pit stop again to get that refixed.
Now they race in staggered position across the line. I'm telling you, the guys up front racing first and second, they have gotten close together more than once. Blocker and Guerin. Oh my goodness, what confidence they have in each other and in their internet connection as they race inches away from each other.
I wonder if Adam was trying to side draft a little bit right there. Well, it seemed to have worked. He's able to edge out and might get another lap lead here. Oh, Andrew Kinsella, though, he's thinking, hey, I'm going to take advantage of that. Try to go 3 wide. He's going to think better of it, though. Slip back down the middle there behind Dan Guerin.
I'm telling you, Kinsella is the fastest of the bunch, and now he's going to the outside. A few laps fresher tires. Let's see if you can make the outside 6. Does not have the momentum out there. There's a hole for Chris Stouffer if he can find it back in 5th. nowhere to put the car.
See, I'm looking at Andrew, and yeah, he might be trying to take it 3 wide and stuff like that, but he's not making like drastic moves to do so. It's a very patient drive to the front for him here so far. You know, I think he realizes that we still have, you know, over 20 laps led in this race. Although that time, I think the car tightened up on him a little bit there. That's going to cost him a few spots.
Yeah, Kinsella got a little bit high and almost had to back out of it a little bit. A driver to keep an eye on is the driver in third, your all-star race winner, Michael Goodman. Now the front two separate. That's going to be an easy pass for Blocker. He gets underneath.
Michael Goodman now coming down pit road.
28 laps to go. He can get to the end from here. Adam, let me ask you a question. Will Goodman be faster by himself rather than in this traffic? No.
No. He's going to need a drafting partner. So it's really going to depend on who he comes out near. We're going to want to keep track of that. Although one thing that I did notice is that when he dropped down pit road, that did separate that top 3 just a little bit. I mean, 1-2 with Adam Blocker and Dan Guerin staying real close together, but Justin Weaver had to back off a little bit on his entry along with Chris Stouffer. So we're running single file back there now with the exception of your front 2.
So we look back, you know, that accident took out a lot of the drivers that we were following that were going to make a run at it. Should be noted that Adam Blocker gridded in 19th position.
Yeah, he's one of our hard chargers here today, and got a couple of those in the top 5. One being Justin Weaver. He started at 14th, and Andrew Kinsella, of course, we've been talking about him a little bit, started in 17th position here today. But our biggest mover here today, Soup, so far is the guy sitting in 8th position. That's going to be James Brandt. He started this race in 28th spot.
Quietly out there, staying out of trouble. Racing.
Oh, and here comes Dan Guerin.
Coming into the pits. It'll be interesting to see where he sorts out in relationship to, who was it? It was who made that stop earlier. It was Goodman.
And he's going to be coming down with Paul Jenkins.
Everybody else slats up his position. You talked about Brandt reaching in 28th. He's just ahead of our pole sitter, Dustin Wardlow. Pole sitter has never won here at Miami, Homestead-Miami.
I gotta say, it's not looking too good for that to happen here so far today, too. So, I mean, I know Dustin Wardlow is wanting a little bit of better luck, but he's going to need some things to go his way here in the later stages of this race.
So Guerin comes out in 21st position. How does he fare? And Michael Goodman right behind him within shouting distance, about 0.4 of a second back. "21 laps to go." Blocker comes in. Now Guerin is just coming out of turn number 4. Gets his lap back. Now he has to go around one more time, and we'll see if he can get around Blocker. Chris Stouffer coming in. All right. Guerin coming out of 4. Blocker coming out of pit lane. He's got it on the warm-up lane right now. There goes Guerin. There goes Goodman. Blocker's got to use his Flintstones feet to get that car up to speed. They're going to drive away from him.
Woo, Justin Weaver. It was real subtle, but that back end tried coming around on him under the latest stages of braking coming down pit road.
Okay, Chris Stouffer is out on the warm-up lane. There goes Guerin. There goes Goodman. They continue to blow by the cars who pitted later. Guerin and Goodman pitted early. Guerin in 11th, Goodman in 12th. The top 10 cars yet to pit. Yazik is in. He's going to get blown by. There goes Guerin and Goodman again. They get another one. In fact, let's take a look at Guerin right now. He races in 10th. He just got his lap back on Joe Hassard, who races in 5th.
Really surprised by Andrew Kinsella staying out here this long.
Well, he took that he took that late stop, so he had a little bit of extra time. I think he's hoping for a yellow. Comes in now.
Ooh, he's pushing that thing on pit entry. He was using every little bit of excess road he could, even getting into the grass just a touch.
Okay, Guerin rolls by, but that's just to get him on the same lap. Your leader is Brandon Limpkeman, but that's going to be short-lived as he'll be coming in soon. Guerin out of 4. Kinsella is rolling. There goes Guerin, and there goes Goodman. See you later. Man, oh man, did those guys pull a fast one on the rest of the field? Unless they didn't take enough fuel.
One advantage that we're going to have here for Andrew Kinsella, other than John Hill coming in right in front of him there, is he will have those newer tires, slightly newer tires. So we'll see if he's able to use some of that. And I think he is within drafting range of Adam Blocker here. So we'll see if he's able to catch back up.
Limpkeman and Hill hit from 1st and 2nd. They were farther down in the order. They just stayed out there and kind of vultured that spot. So that's easily now going to move Dandy Dan Guerin, your all-time lap leader here at Homestead-Miami, out in front. Where he's got Michael Goodman, your all-star race winner behind him. Michael Goodman, thirsty for his first official Lionheart IndyCar win. And here he comes underneath, new leader, Michael Goodman. I assume, is he going to lead at the... Yes, he is. Pit stops are done. Now let's cross our fingers and see if we can stay green the whole way. Blocker and Stouffer race 3 and 4, about 0.8 of a second behind the front 2.
Here in the 41 and the 66 had a moment just a second ago, and they're racing hard back. There's Justin Weaver making another pit stop here.
10 to go. If my buddy Sean Crackers Ambrose here, we say, drop that disco ball. Let's get it started. Coming around, this will be 9 to go. They got the lap car of Joe Branch in front of the leaders. Branch is a veteran. He will know how to get out of the way. I don't expect any issues there. Here comes Adam Blocker and Chris Stouffer. Guerin doing his best. Cooking with hot fish grease right now. Opened up a half-second lead on Goodman. Goodman is off the pace, and this is good news for Blocker. Adam is going to gobble up Goodman. He's going to have to go in between the lap car. He does it. Little bit of a heart stopper there. 0.7 of a second between Dandy Dan Guerin and your defending champion, Adam Blocker. 7 laps to go.
Even with that heart-stopping moment there, Adam Blocker did run just a touch faster than Dan Guerin that last lap. Dan Guerin does have a few lap cars in front of him. He's able to use the draft of, and that includes Brian Greenlee and James Brandt here. So we'll see if Adam Blocker is able to keep that up. As far as the speed, checked it at the line, 24.6 for Dan Guerin. And looking at Adam Blocker, 24.6.
Floridian cloud floats over the top of corners 1 and 2. 3 and 4 are in bright sunlight. Guerin negotiates his way around Brian. It's not easy being Greenlee. Now he's got James Brandt to deal with. 6/10 of a second, the interval between first and second. 5 to go. Blocker doing all he can to get up there. Stouffer in third. Goodman just did not have the pace to stay with the leader. He's back and forth and in jeopardy of losing that spot to Kinsella and Yassin, who battled for fifth. If I didn't know better, I think it was about to rain here in Miami, but I know that's not going to happen.
Well, it would figure it'd rain in Florida with cloud on one end of the track and the sun on the other.
Boy, it looks like Florida right now. You can see him go in the sunlight and the shadows. Now into corner 3 and 4. The gap is 0.4 of a second.
Stouffer and Adam Blocker having a whale of a time trying to get around the lap traffic right now. And Dan Guerin's just looking in his rearview mirror, and he's like, okay.
Blocker was pinned behind Brian Greenlee, who did nothing wrong. He had to put the car somewhere. Stouffer is now in second. The interval now, it's under 0.3 of a second. James Brandt just trying to get the car out of there. He does want to be part of this battle with 2 laps to go. Brandt gets out of the way, but Christopher is there. 1.5 laps of racing to go. Dan Guerin out in front, your all-time lap leader. Here comes Stouffer. Here comes Blocker. Out of 4. 1 lap to go. What type of racing line will Dan Guerin take? They come across the line. Guerin is going to keep it down low. Stouffer with the momentum grabs to the top. Let's see if he can get it to work out of 4. Guerin keeping it down low. Stouffer again making an attack up top. Stouffer tight on the inside like a tight pair of Fruit of the Looms. Out of 4 is going to be a drag race to the finish line. Will the momentum get there for Guerin or Stouffer? It's going to be Guerin. Stouffer gets second. Blocker gets third. Goodman fourth. Kinsella fifth. Coming out of 4, Adam, I thought maybe Stouffer might have something.
Yeah, it was that what won it for Dan Guerin was the slight movement that he made to come slightly back up the track on the entry to 3 to give him a good corner entry going through 3 and 4. And at that point, there was nothing that Chris was going to be able to do to get by him on that exit 4 there. There just wasn't going to be enough time. So great move by Dan Guerin to come away with that one.
Dan Guerin gets the victory here at Homestead-Miami in the Lionheart IndyCar season opener for Season 7. What we're going to do right now on GSRC and IESN is take a short break, but we will be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to as many drivers as we can before we put a lock on the gate. Don't go far. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel on the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome back to the Homestead-Miami Speedway and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. Hey, if you're like me and have trouble finding that perfect Ides of March gift, well, do I have the website for you? Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. I could try, but my words would not do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But I'm warning you now, I keep telling you this, you're not listening to me. One visit, and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a Plasma Tracks wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Use this promo code, it's LRS2019, to get 25% off your order. Now, you might get 25% off your order, but I'm going to give you 100% of the finishing order right now, as we're going to call that out. Your leader, your winner, started in 4th position. He comes home with a win. Dan Guerin starts the season off with a bang. Christopher is 2nd, doing his very best to get there. He finishes 3/100ths of a second behind Guerin. Adam Blocker, the defending champion, had to settle for 3rd. Michael Goodman was racing with Guerin there at the end, but ran out of steam. He'll have to settle for 4th. Andrew Havakech-Kinsella rounds out your top 5. The back half of your top 10, Brian Yozik, Dustin Wardlow, George Anzaldo, who raced up there for a while, Brandon Limcom in a very quiet 9th for him, and Stephen Larkamp in 10th. Adam?
Yeah, in 11th position going home tonight. I'm going to have to get used to saying it like this. Bobby Mikas. I like Bobby.
Yeah, I do too.
It works. Chris Lanini coming home in 12th. Brian Beard, real strong early, kind of faded a little bit late, but was able to get some spots there at the end. 13th position, 14th goes to Isaiah Dupre. Samuel Ryman, he looks strong in certain parts of this race too. Coming home 15th, George Sainman 16th, Robert Lewin coming home at 17th, 18th, the guy that really did. I mean, he was running up front most of this thing. Unfortunately, faded at the end. Joe Hassert, 19th position, is going to go to Brian Carey in 20th. Connor Harrington.
Then we get down to the drivers who were 1 lap down. There's 3 of them. James Brandt, Joe Branch, and Paul Jenkins go 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Drivers who were 2 laps down, Brian is not easy being Greenlee and John Hill. Tyler Graff is 5 back of the leader. Justin Weaver behind him. Sean Cole, 8 laps, but still racing at the end. 8 laps behind the leader. Good job for him. He comes home in 28th. Remember, Sean, it's Soup, S-O-U-P-Z-A-H-N. Sage Karam in 20, what would that be? I have no idea. 29th position, well back, 54 laps off the lead. All these guys wrapping up here at the end had trouble. And Damon Martinez. Adam, I'll let you take the rest of these guys.
Yeah, Damon Martinez coming home in that 31st spot. Ken Hacker, 32nd. Scott Bolster coming home in 33rd. Scotty Johnson, 34th. Joe Flanagan, tough day for Joe. Coming home 35th. Tough day also for Jason. We saw his big accident there in the back straightaway. 36th. 37th is Mike Brigney. 38th, David Altman. 39th, Jason Rabarge. 40th, Mark Cohn. I'll go ahead and rant it out here real quick. Justin Kirby coming home in 41st position. And I was wrong right at the beginning of the broadcast, Soup. Unfortunately, Bark Workman did not actually take credit. He had internet failure right before the green flag started.
So we did not tie the record at 42. We went with 41. But there was one driver who got to the checker flag first, and that is Dandy Dan Guerin. We get the honor of talking to him right now. Dan, let's talk about pit stop strategy at the end. You came in a little bit earlier than everybody else. What was your thinking there?
Tires. Them tires are something really needed today.
You worked out because we watched you come in, and I think, who'd you come out with? Was it Goodman? I think that was your partner that you teamed up with. And one by one, those guys who were out in front of you came in for pit stops, and you just blew by them. Did you know you were just passing the guys you were racing with as you went by them as they were on the warm-up lane?
Yeah, I was watching the standings there, and I came out with Goodman, and I was hoping him and I would have worked together a little bit. I'm not sure what happened but he started falling back. I was waiting for him to catch up. But I was watching Stouffer and Blocker start reeling me in from 2 seconds back. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know why Goodman's not getting up here, but I just held off both them guys, and great racing them. I love racing Stouffer. He's a good driver, always racing me pretty clean. Hats off to Blocker as well, Kinsella. All them guys they really battled hard this night.
You negotiated the lap traffic, and then the guys who were chasing you got through the lap traffic, but they were there. And then it was all about you just protecting the inside, right?
I wish it was said that easy. No, I had to lift a couple times because I wasn't sure which way lap traffic was going to go, but I still stayed out and maintained a little bit. But with coming to one to go, Stouffer's right there. I'm like, okay, well, coming off 4, I'm going to have to hold the bottom until I get to the turn and kind of come out a little bit. I didn't know if the tires were going to hold the next few turns or not. So, but they sure did, though.
Homestead always puts on a good show. You are the all-time lap leader here. You added to that today. Congratulations on getting the win and starting season 7 on a roll. Good luck.
Thanks, Soup. Just want to give a shout out to my sponsors here: Lock Precision, Midwest Simulations, Graphics, Telegraphed. Awesome paint job for my car this year. Looks beautiful. And Sim Racers for mental health.
You got it. Good luck to you the rest of the way. Way to start the season. Dan Guerin, your race winner here today. All right, Adam, who you got?
Oh, we grabbed Chris Stouffer, and Chris, whale of a race out there here for today. And I know he came up just short, about 300ths of a second short, but man, tell us about the drive there at the last stage of that race.
Well, me and Adam teammates there, and so we're discussing when we're going to pit, and we came down to only having a gallon left, so we pit on opposite laps, so we went and beat each other. And when we came out, Dan pitted a few laps earlier, and so he had a good lead. So did Goodman there, and we just worked together, tried to get up there. Luckily there was some lap traffic. At the same time, they were a little bit difficult to get around. But I could have got around them a little earlier. Maybe I could have made a better effort at trying to pass Dan instead of just getting one crack at it. But it was a really good race all the way around, all the way through.
Well, of course, we got a long season on tap here for Lionheart, and I know you're looking forward to, along with everybody else. What are you hoping for here for yourself and Adrenaline Motorsports this season?
Well, I'll tell you, for myself, it's to consistently finish in the beginning of the season instead of winning the Turning Point Award for a 3rd time in a row. Because although it's a good award to win, it just means I was better in the second half than I was in the first. So I just want to try to have a consistent season and see what I can do there. And as far as for Adrenaline, we won the team championship last year. Hopefully we can repeat that effort.
All right. Well, hey, Chris, congratulations on that second place finish here for today. And we'll see you here, I believe, in 2 weeks at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, sounds good. Shout out to Dan. It was an excellent race. I knew you won it. I could tell that you were hungry for it while you were driving, man. So congrats on the win. Thank everybody in the league for putting it on, all the sponsors, and thank my wife and kids.
Chris Stouffer, ladies and gentlemen, second place finisher here today.
Thank the wife and kids. You got to love that. All right, I get the honor of talking to Adam Blocker, the defending champion. He got the final podium spot today. Adam, let's start qualifying in 19th position. What's going on there?
The track was so grippy in qualifying that it was pretty much a hold the white line lottery. So
got it. Well, we watched you early on, slowly but surely work your way through. You have a reputation, so you're a driver I go back and keep an eye on. You were coming through. It didn't take you long, about halfway, and you found yourself up to the front.
Yeah, first stint, track was really hot, and I made some progress early, and then I kind of stalled out around 13th or 14th, and until the very end of the stint, once people started really getting loose off of 2 and pushing bad in 3 and 4, and I think Kinsella and I looked after our tires a little bit better, so we got into the top 10. Then on the next, when we finally got a yellow and the track was grippy, I just went to the front and knew I had to be aggressive early this stint because that's when you could pass people. And there was a big moment where Stouffer and I broke up Ken Hacker and Dan Guerin's control of the field. That really allowed me to get clean air on my tires for that whole beginning of that last run to the flag before we pitted. So that allowed me to keep my tires under me until the pit stop. And then I slid my box a little bit in the last stop, which cost me about a second, but I don't think that would have made a difference because I ended up in the draft with Stouffer, who's my teammate, and we worked together well to catch up to Guerin and Goodman. We got Goodman, and we just ran out of time with Guerin. So.
That lap traffic at the end, there was no time to mess around with them. You had to get around them as fast as you could.
Yeah, they didn't really do us any favors either. I mean, I figured they would have gotten out of the way a little bit easier with 5 laps to go and nothing to race for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I shouldn't have to make it 3 wide up the middle of the back straight. But.
We saw that. Hey, I'll get you out of here on this. There was a stage in the race where your teammate, I thought, was the fastest, Kinsella. He had fresher tires by about 10 laps, and man, he was flying. He just had nowhere to put the car. He just couldn't get it up.
Yeah, that's when he was the fastest, and I regret not pitting there at the time. But obviously he had nowhere to go because at that point the clouds were covering the track and it was really grippy, so we could easily run, just blocking the track. And so he kind of got unlucky a little bit. He also got unlucky in the fact that he decided to run the tank dry, and that ended up costing him because he lost the draft when like Stouffer, Guerin, and Goodman and I pitted. We got the undercut and the fresh tires. So the 4 of us kind of, because we stayed out, we had to pit there, and because a yellow didn't catch us out, we ended up, getting a big advantage out of that. So a little bit of luck was involved, but yeah, definitely take it.
All right, defending champ, you come home with the podium finish. That's a good way to start the season. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll keep an eye on you.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for calling the race, and definitely thanks to my teammates, especially Stouffer, for working with me.
Adam Blocker, 3rd place today. Do we have one more? We do. It's going to be Adam's going to get to talk to George Anzaldo.
Yeah, George. Hey, man, great run here today. I know 8th place, probably not exactly what you're hoping for considering how high up you were running at times, but still not bad for a day. Top 10.
Yeah, I'll definitely take it. I felt really strong there towards the end. I had a really great run, but Blocker and Goodman just had the inside jammed up, so I decided to kind of play it a little bit safe, and then the tires started wearing out, and next thing you know, I was falling back. And on the pit cycles, I think I pitted maybe just a little bit too late because every time I came out, I couldn't find any other cars on track to draft, so I was just running laps by myself. But really, really happy with the finish. Had a great run there with Blocker, Kinsella and Yatzik, and then Dustin kind of came in there at the end to take 7th away. But it was a great night. Really proud of everybody. The off season has been, a long and tough one, but we've got everything in place and really looking forward to the start of the season. So really excited.
Well, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and put on your Lionheart hat here real quick. And I know we've talked about it on the own here a few times, but what are you most excited for about this IndyCar season from the series organizer standpoint?
Well, I think the biggest thing that stands out is the roster for both the IndyCar and the Retro Series. This, I would have to say, is easy, hands down, the strongest roster that we've had in league history. So I'm really proud of that. And also, Lionheart is actually going to reach a milestone this year. July 1st will be our 5th year anniversary. So we've been doing this for 5 years, and each year has gotten a little bit bigger and better. We're really happy with the level of sponsorship that has come into the league and the viewership. So again, want to thank the fans, the sponsors, everyone involved here with the league, the admin team, GSRC, IESN. Obviously, we couldn't do this without you, so we're certainly excited to kick off the season. And I think the future is definitely big and bright for Lionheart.
All right, George. Well, hey, appreciate you stopping in here for tonight. And, I think we'll see you tomorrow night for the Retro Series and here in 2 weeks again for IndyCar.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thanks again, gentlemen.
It's Lionheart season here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Hey, let's go ahead and thank some of the people that made this possible. George talked about the sponsors. One of them is First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. Adam?
Sim Experience, the makers of the AccuForce Pro V2 Complete, the premier professional racing simulation steering system. The key to the AccuForce Pro's incredible realism is the groundbreaking direct drive motor control system, providing a driving experience that, when combined with today's best racing simulators, is as close as you can get to driving the real thing. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including the Sim Vive software, 3DOF, Stage Series Motion, and GS5 G4 Seat, visit simexperience.com.
So here's what you do. You get yourself a sim experience wheel, you get yourself a butt kicker, and then you talk to First Medical Equipment and get some oxygen, because that's what you're going to need, especially if you use a butt kicker. Their products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and mass, a butt kicker products moves actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. I got a promo code for you. It's Lion25 to get 25% off your order. Adam!
To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on 2019 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo.
I lost my place here. I got confused. Company logo. What am I doing now? Oh, I'm doing this one. On the screen now are just some of the...
in blue.
I got it. That doesn't help me. Some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic music that alerts your ears you're watching the GSRC Productions comes courtesy of Eric Eckham and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them.
Then the Lionheart IndyCar Series is going to return in 2 weeks, Wednesday, March 27th, for the -273 Grand Prix at the Glen, presented by Cranfield Simulation. Hey, don't forget, you got the Retro Series as well tomorrow night. GSRC and ISN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. The next broadcast on ISN, hey, just mentioned it, is GSRC's coverage of the Lionheart Retro Series from right here, Homestead. It is the Sam Maxwell Customs Miami 200. Coverage is going to begin tomorrow night, March 14th at 10:45 p.m. Eastern.
All right, this one's in a lighter shade of pale, so it must be me. Sliding across your screen now are just some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, I got lots of options for you. How about this? GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. But you want to go to social media, how about these options? You can go to GSR Channel, that would be for Twitter, and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. We got another one in there somewhere. No, I forgot what that one was. Who cares? Oh, there's one for Instagram too, but it's not on the list. We'll get that in there next week. Don't go to Instagram. And finally,
Instagram.
I have no idea why you would go there, but I guess there's some reason. Hey, stick to the script. It's late. And finally, while you're here, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the this GSRC YouTube channel by going over there and hitting the subscribe button. I'm almost done. In fact, I can close this out now. Finally, on behalf of the men whose voices you just heard through this entire show, that would be Adam Young, and it would be Christopher Phoebe, and of course Amjad Yaman doing the directing duties, and Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank you all for watching as we watched Dan Guerin pick up the win here to start season number 7 at Homestead. With that, it's time to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard. Only a few more words to go, and we'll see you on the track.